So in this quick video, we're just going to walk through the main steps to set up the Hyper-V Replica feature. Now I already have it enabled on HVO2. So all I did is I actually select the server, go into Hyper-V settings, and then replication configuration. From here, I enabled the computer as a replica server. Because the replica is in the same Active Directory forest as the source servers, I just use Kerberos. I don't need encryption. If I did need encryption, I could use IPsec, or I could additionally use HTTPS. And I'm going to enable replication from any authenticated server. And the replicas will be stored in this d::replica folder. From that point, all I have to do is make sure I've enabled the firewall exception. So this is actually a different server, but you can see here the rules are created, but you will need to manually go and enable them. So if you're doing Kerberos, so HTTP, you would enable this rule. If you're doing certificate based, it would be the HTTPS rule. From that point, you just enable a virtual machine for replication. So you would select the virtual machine that you want to be replicated. So I'll just select this one. I'm going to enable replication. Specify my target. I can only use Kerberos because I didn't enable HTTPS on the other server. I can select if I want to compress the data when it's transmitted over the network to obviously minimize bandwidth. Which VHDs, if there was multiple VHDs in the VM, I can select which ones need to be replicated. Maybe there's a page file separate VHD that I don't care about replicating, for example. The history, so do I want only the latest recovery point, or I can have those additional recovery points with the optional ability to create a VSS basically snapshot periodically to give me an consistent replica. How do I initially want to replicate it over the network to some sort of external media? Or maybe I already copied it, I already had a VM on that server, and it would do a bit by bit comparison and get them synchronized, and then when to start replication. And I'm done. It will then start that replication. Now I've already got a VM replicating this server here, and I can see this replication is enabled, where the replica server is. I can see the replication health, so it's healthy. Average size of those replicas every 5 minutes that it's sending over. Biggest was 100 megabytes. And on the replica side, I noticed the VM is turned off because it's asynchronous. It's not real time. It's a shut down VM every 5 minutes sending over. I can see those various point in time copies of the VM along with every 4 hours I have an application consistent version through that VSS backup. And Hyper-V Replica specific settings, I can actually go, for example, on the network adapter, I can set that failover TCP/IP configuration. So that would be used in the event of a failover. To actually perform that failover, I can just right click and perform a planned failover. And that's ideally what I want to do all of the time. If this host was unavailable, so it wasn't a planned failover, I could always start the failover on the replica side, but obviously it won't get a chance to that final replication. And that's Hyper-V Replica in about 4 minutes.